I'm just saying, if there's no kissing like a real human woman in this game, I'm gonna be disappointed.
We're going to talk about Gamescom for a few minutes. Gamescom just happened yesterday, as of this recording. Gamescom is kind of like the European E3. It's in Cologne, Germany, and it's more or less, it's always been bigger than E3. Not as many like announcements as E3 usually, but they do have like a lot of, they show a lot of stuff we already know about. There are still announcements there, but there's just more people there overall. It's a bigger event. They had their opening night live last night, which is a Jeff Keighley show. If you've ever watched any type of video game show, you probably know who Jeff Keighley is. And yeah, I watched it. I was actually doing a live stream of something else when it came on, and I watched it afterwards. And Nick, I know you said you watched at least some of it, and I kind of wanted to just go through some of the highlights, at least for me, and you can add to it as well, and we'll just discuss a couple of things that were there and what we thought of that, and then what we thought of the show overall. And these are not in order of how they were on the show. I was just kind of throwing this stuff in here. Lies of P, which is a really weird name, but the P stands for Pinocchio because this is a dark reimagining of Pinocchio, but like Dark Souls.
There's 3 fucking Pinocchio properties coming out.
There's 3 fucking Pinocchio properties. There's Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, there's the Disney Pinocchio, and now this one. I'm not sure who the developer of this is. I don't have it in front of me, but it does have. It is very Soulsborne looking, so it's like a Dark Souls or Soulsborne, gothic, dark Pinocchio inspired game.
Yeah.
It looked neat. It was, once again, it was just a trailer, not a lot of gameplay. The big thing on it is coming to Game Pass day one. It is a multi-platform, but it is coming to Game Pass day one. This is one that a lot of people are looking forward to, apparently. Could go the way of Elden Ring being a big thing. I mean, that's a big genre right now with the whole Soulsborne deal. I mean, that's really all I can say about it. It looked cool. It looked interesting. I wasn't blown away by it, but I don't get blown away by CGI trailers that much anymore, unless it's got to be something really like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that, like a known property usually or something like that, but because you never know with these CGI trailers. But Life of Pete, did you see this one?
No, I sure didn't.
Okay, well, it's worth. I would say that this one's worth checking out the trailer if you are into video games, and it's just interesting. Being a Pinocchio, it is very dark. And I don't mean I mean like the tone is extremely dark in the way that it
is. It like McGee, Alice in Wonderland?
Darker. Very dark.
Holy shit.
Like it is a very dark telling.
Does Pinocchio have wood or some shit?
I'll let you check it out, but you guys check that out too. It's just very, dark soul. It just, check it out. It's interesting. I'll give it that. It did catch my attention. Something else that caught my attention until the very end of it was Dune is getting a video game called Dune Awakening, and get a pretty cool trailer seeing Paul Atreides, but not the Paul Atreides, at least in face form, from the new movie, the Denis Villeneuve movie, and not even the old one. This is an all new look for Paul. We see him doing some monologuing. It's a CGI trailer, but I love me some Dune, so I was like, okay, this is Dune. You've got my attention for a moment. We see a sandworm come up, eat a spice rig, and then shoot up, and he runs at it to jump on it and ride it, and then it goes out and shows us the Dune logo. And it seems to be using the aesthetic of the new Dune film, or films now, I suppose, but not the faces of the people, even though that was Paul Atreides. He's doing the whole mantra of the Wearing Way and all that, and I was cool with that. I was like, I don't really care about that, but I was cool with it until I find out that this is an MMO. What'd you think of that?
I'm not an MMO fan, so no.
That's what I thought. I am not downing MMOs. People love them. There's people that love them, and that's great. I hope you have fun with this. I'm not real big into MMO. I don't have the time to sink into an MMO, and it might be an awesome game, and it might have things in it that I'm like, because there's MMOs out there that I'm like, oh, that's a really neat thing. I'd like to try that, but I know I don't have the time to sink into it. I just don't, and so I'm not gonna get what you should get out of these things. So that was disappointing because I really wanted like a single-player narrative-driven. I mean, it's Dune. There's lots of narrative there. Narrative-driven, high-production Dune game, and we just don't get that. They're either RTSs or strategy games or now MMOs. Just give me a fucking narrative-driven one. The closest thing we've gotten was the Sega CD version back in the day, and it was more or less kind of a strategy RPG, but that's the closest narrative thing we've gotten. Decent game, though. I've got it. All right, so that's Dune. We're going to blow through a couple of quick ones here. PlayStation VR 2, which has already been announced. They officially announced that this was actually right before the show. It is coming in 2023. There has not been a release date. Still isn't, but we have a release year, so there's that.
$1 billion.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be cheap. PlayStation also, they did not have a lot there, but they had these two things. The DualSense Edge, which is a new controller they have coming, has been announced. It's more or less, it seems, because we didn't get a lot of information on it, to be Sony's version. The best way I could put it is their version of the Xbox Elite controller. It's a controller.
Yeah.
I've got one around here somewhere. I don't have it right with me, but it's one you can remove. You got different like heights, thumbsticks, and or you can switch out the thumbsticks. You can switch out the D-pads. You can do things with the triggers and set all that stuff. And it's got buttons on the back and all that. So it's that kind of situation that they finally made one of those. People have been asking for that for a long time. They finally made it. We don't know what all the functionality of it will be. We saw the thumbsticks being switched out. I'm assuming they're saying you could do that. And we don't know what the price is. It's a DualSense controller. Those things are already expensive as shit, so I can only imagine how much this is going to be. I know the Xbox wireless one, the Xbox Elite controller is $180 new. But you can usually find like a Series 1 version of it, which is still a great one, for $150, maybe less. But just, it's not going to be cheap, ladies and gentlemen. Is it good or not? I don't know. They showed like a CGI mock-up trailer of it. But that's coming for those of you that have been wanting that. Welcome to the party, PlayStation. Callisto Protocol. Look neat.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game.
Yeah.
Only because it's from some of the creators, I think, of Dead Space or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the spiritual successor to Dead Space.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because they're remaking Dead Space and then they're coming out with this game. I'm like, oh, I think this game's actually from some of the writers of Soma, which I really like. I can't remember which, but yeah.
It
Soma.
may be. I'm not sure about that. I do know that it's got a lot of the people that worked on Dead Space originally, and it is the spiritual successor to Dead Space. Look cool. I mean, it was very... the gameplay we saw... They did actually show gameplay. It was very, what do you call it? Linear. The gameplay itself is a vertical slice, so that's fine. I mean, these things all are. But it was we got to see what the game supposedly will look like as we play it. It looked good. I mean, really violent, really bloody. That's what Dead Space was. So if you're into Dead Space, this looks like you're gonna love this. I looked at I was like, yeah, it looks cool, looks neat. I was happy with that. That was an early one. I was hoping that was the direction the show was gonna go. We'll see. Goat Simulator 3. Okay. I played a little bit of the first one. It was kind of fun to fuck around in there for a little while.
Yeah.
And then that was about it. I mean, it's got a huge following, so if you're into Goat Simulator, it's coming real soon. This was a big one. I remember the first game, and I thought it was cool, but Dead Island 2 is finally coming out. That game was announced like 8 years ago. Had a trailer and everything. The first game had an amazing trailer, by the way, the reverse trailer. But yeah, this game is finally coming out. Most people thought it would have been canceled. It has a date of February 3rd, and we got to see a neat trailer, though it was a CGI trailer. But it's still a neat trailer. They're really good at those CGI trailers over there. What were you saying?
Yeah, they are. Did that guy look like, what's his face, that singer?
Lenny Kravitz?
Yes. It looked like Lenny Kravitz.
He did. His name is Jacob in the game, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. So, good name. But yeah, that's coming.
What have you been doing to Jacob?
If you've been looking forward to Dead Island 2 and wondering when it was coming, or if you enjoyed the first one, Dead Island 2 is finally coming, February 3rd of 2023. This one, I'm happy to see, but I don't know if I'm going to play it much. I'll probably play it at least once, and that is that we are getting a Killer Clowns from Outer Space game, which where the hell that came from. I don't know. I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but that's just one of the most random announcements from a known property.
Well, it's funny too because Halloween Horror Nights down in Orlando, I think that was actually in California too, had Scare Zone for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and then the next year they actually had a house, like a haunted house for it. And it was actually pretty good. I think you wore 3D glasses or whatever, and you walked through. It was cool. It's weird how because there's a 4K Blu-ray coming too, so it's been interesting.
Well, they've been trying to get a sequel in movie form, show form, all kinds of different forms made of this for Killer Clowns for years, like decades. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It pops up every few years. They say, hey, we're working on one. It's still the Chiodo brothers, I think is the name of the directors. But that's coming in early, not an exact date, but early 2023. And it is made by the team that made the Friday the 13th game. And it very much looked like that kind of game. So you're going to, if you are familiar with that game and you liked it, which I never played Friday the 13th. I even own it. I never played it. But I heard that it was a fun game. It's a multiplayer game. It's going to be multiplayer, like where one person, and with this one, it's probably going to be multiple, is the bad guy, the murderer, if you will, Jason in those games, and everybody else is like the camp counselors. It'll probably be something similar to that. Maybe one clown, maybe multiple clowns, people are playing this. It's just a multiplayer game. I'll give it a shot, but I know that this is probably not going to be one I play a lot. But I do love the property. And the trailer looked neat. I mean, it looked like Killer Clowns. So, hey, there's that. It had the awesome Killer Clowns theme at the end of it, so I was happy to hear that. Right. Always happy to hear that song. Another one this one is one that I'm looking forward to. Not necessarily anything I've seen about it blows me away, but just who it's coming from and the vibes I get from it, and that is High on Life. That's coming from the creator of Rick and Morty. And he also, another game he made that I really enjoyed in VR, Accounting and Accounting Plus, which was hilarious. One of the funniest damn games I've ever played.
You ever play Trevor Saves the World?
Trevor, is it Universe? Trevor Saves the Universe? Whatever, Trevor Saves Somebody.
Yeah.
That's another one. I own that, never played it. I wanted to play it so bad, I totally forgot until you just said that I own that game. I bought it to play it and I forgot. But, High on Life coming. I don't know about you, but first of all, I really like the sense of humor that this guy and this team has with their properties, so I'm looking forward to that. And the aesthetic, when you look at the game, it does not blow you away. It's very cartoony, but Rick and Morty doesn't blow you away with its that's his whole thing. Because Accounting was like that too. It has that art style.
Yeah. But Accounting, you're literally just talking to a tree for like half that game.
This game is going to be very much about the story and the comedy. It has game, but this is more gameplay. It's a first-person shooter. But your guns like talk to you and do all these different things and have personality or something like that. And I don't know if you're familiar with this game, I got Stranger's Wrath, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath vibes from this, but with a more lighthearted comedic tone, but just like the gameplay itself. Did you ever play that?
Right. No, I didn't. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, in it you had like all these different crazy out there weapons that would like talk to you and stuff like that, and just we're always chatting and just did weird shit like that. But it was first person shooter, and I love that game. I love Oddworld games though, but I got those kind of vibes from it. So hey, I'm on board with that one. I wasn't. Once again, you see the gameplay and you're like, it doesn't really blow you away. But it's the people that are making it that make me excited about this. There was a trailer, CGI, lots of CGI trailers, by the way. Scars Above. I think that's what it said. That's what it looked like, Scars Above, not Stars Above. Looked cool. It's just CGI trailer, but the trailer looked cool. I'll give it that. Can't really say anything else about it. It's a sci-fi thing. It looked cool, though. Looked very high production, but once again, CGI. Age of Empires 4. Okay, not my kind of game, but I know it's a big property. People that are into Age of Empires, there's a fourth one coming, so get ready for that. They did use the TUI version of Smoke on the Water, which is a really cool song in their trailer. So that's cool, but they also used that song in the Hellboy 2019 trailer, so there's that. Gotham Knights. They showed some more about Gotham Knights, the multiplayer game where all the heroes of Gotham are coming together to fight and Batman is dead or something like that. In my opinion, Gotham Knights looked as vanilla as usual. that game has not blown me away up to
just
this
saying
point.
what it is. It looks like shit.
Yeah,
I'm just saying what it is.
It just doesn't. It looks very like it's gonna come and go. I feel like that game's gonna come out, and a week or two later, nobody's gonna be talking about it. Comes out October 21st though, so we'll find out. October is a big month for games, so that's a tough time to come out. Sonic Frontiers. Now this was one I was looking forward to this one though, and I'm a big Sonic fan. I thought it looked cool. It looks like the new Sonic Adventure. I think it's supposed to be more open world or open world-ish, which Sonic Adventure was. It had more of a hub world and then other worlds attached to it, so kind of sort of open world. I thought it looked cool. It showed a lot of gameplay, but it was still a trailer. It was all, there was some CGI in there as well, which may be CGI cutscenes from the game. I don't know. It was Sonic. Sonic has had a up and down roller coaster checkered history, especially in 3D.
Yeah,
so
a little bit.
Who knows? But I thought it looked cool. I hold hope out that this will be the Sonic game to bring Sonic back in to the mainstream. Like Sonic Generations, I thought was a cool game. Is the one that had like 2D and 3D Sonic games. I know it was very divisive, but it wasn't like 2006 Sonic the Hedgehog. I think it at least had fans. I like Sonic Adventure or Sonic Generations. I thought it was solid. But I would love.
I'm just saying.
What was that?
I know. I'm just saying, if there's no kissing like a real human woman in this game, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Well, the trailer did not show any real human women that I saw, but there was a female. And there was a female that pops up in it, but she was a bit cartoony, so maybe it won't be so creepy if he kisses her. But Sonic Frontiers, though, coming real soon. I didn't put the date down. That's coming this year. They did reiterate that Sonic Frontiers. A lot of people have been thinking it was getting pushed out. It's coming this year.
Yeah.
So sometime soon. Actually, I think Sonic Frontiers, if I remember, I could be wrong here. I am right. It's coming out 2 days before God of War Ragnarok. Which that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, it's probably. I think there's some overlap there in the audiences, but yeah, I know that's two different types of games.
Yeah, this isn't like when EA put two games out like a week apart from each other, like with Titanfall 2 and stuff like that. So I don't expect it to be that major. It's Sonic. It's Sonic. I mean, it's gonna sell well, and God of Rock is gonna sell even better.
Well, but it is coming out at God of Rock. I would say that this is kind of sort of like the Sonic 3 movie being scheduled for the same day as Avatar. I don't think God of War is as big as Avatar necessarily, but I mean, it's still kind of going up with the head to head with the big juggernaut. But once again, this is kind of different audiences enough that I think it'll still flourish. And Crossfire X, which I never played, and I understand Crossfire has been really big in China for a long time. Crossfire X. Yeah,
it's. I think it's actually done better than Fortnite, if I remember right.
It's
Minecraft.
Huge. It's huge over there.
It made billions of dollars. It's insane. I heard about this like last year sometime, and I'm like, it's always funny. Like, sorry to hijack this real quick, but it's really funny to see how you start hearing about a game like PUBG or Fortnite and stuff like that, and then you don't realize that like because there's so many people in China that a game could like flourish over there that nobody's ever heard of over here. And it's weird, but yeah, Crossfire X is supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be like the greatest game in the world, but it's supposed to be flipping huge.
Well,
right here.
Let's make a distinction here. Crossfire is the one that's big in China. Crossfire X is the single player component that was recently made for Crossfire. So Crossfire X was made by the Remedy that made Alan Wake and Max Payne and stuff like that. They made the single player version that came to the series consoles last year or earlier this year, I think it was. And
Remedy made Crossfire X?
The single player version. Yeah, they made the single player
I didn't know this.
story version, which that's why everybody was like, "Oh, this will be good." It was awful apparently. I've not played it, but it got terrible reviews. Like it was bad. I don't know if it was technical issues.
2 out of 10.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really bad. Well, it showed up for just a minute with some type of add-on or something, so I just kind of took that as Crossfire X trying to save some face. It's on Game Pass, I think. I could be wrong. I think it is. But it came out, and it was not looked at favorably. And this looks like maybe they're trying to remedy that. No pun intended. But if you liked Crossfire, there you go. It's coming. Where Winds Meet is a game based around Chinese mythology. Okay. Looked like an action RPG. I mean, we'll have to see more.
I saw the trailer for this. I'm like,
It looked okay. Nothing like.
I know. This is like the like. There's been a big thing coming out. What's that game that came out for the PlayStation?
I don't know which one.
The Chinese. That was a Japanese game. Never mind.
Yeah, this was based around Chinese lore or something like that. I don't know. And
yeah,
it didn't look bad, but there was nothing about it that like really grabbed my attention. So, but who knows? It might be good. We'll have to wait to see. Now we get into a bit of the weird. Kojima was there. What's he gonna talk about? What's Kojima gonna talk about? Kojima's here. He's got to talk about something. Is he going to talk about how Death Stranding just came to Game Pass? No, he's not going to. He doesn't have to talk about that.
How much he has sex with Jeff Keighley?
Is he going to talk about if Jeff Keighley's around, you're going to see Kojima? No. Is he going to talk about his new Xbox game that he's working on that everybody said he's a traitor for making? Which he doesn't work for Sony, so I don't know if he's a traitor, but whatever. No. You know what he did talk about? His podcast. And that it's coming to Spotify. Woo! There was literally a part where he's speaking in Japanese the whole time. He went, yay. That was what Kojima was there to talk about, is that his podcast, which I didn't know he had a podcast, but, I'm awesome. Nothing against podcast. I mean, that's fine. It's coming to Spotify, but they had a straight up spot of him talking about how the podcast is coming to Spotify. Okay. So moving on, we got a car. They unveiled a car, concept car. For Mini. Why? I don't know. They did try and work in there we tried to work in like video games into the car. It's a fucking car from Mini. It's an electric car. And they decided to take Gamescom opening night live to announce this new fucking car. I don't know why. Because that's what Jeff Keighley does. He puts that in other advertisements because there's other advertisements sprinkled in there. Weren't quite as in your face. That's how he pays for the show. That's what it is. It's advertising. I get it. It is what it is. Good on him. But it just seemed very out of place that they took time. Because it wasn't just like an advertisement, like Snickers comes up and does an advertisement in between or something like that. No, it like stopped. He's like, all right, we got another announcement for you. And we're like, okay, what's this for? Is this an exclusive or something like that? No, this is coming from Mini. And he goes and talks to a guy about a car for a little while. Great. That's what we're here to see, Jeff. Outlast Trials, which I think is a multiplayer Outlast. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I've heard of this game. The trailer does not really tell you much. It looked like Outlast. It looked like more Outlast. If you liked Outlast 1, I haven't played 2. It looked like that. So whether it's good or not, I don't know. But the beta is coming October 21st, which that should tell you, yes, it is multiplayer, because why would a single-player game have beta? But October 21st, you can get in on the beta if you're interested to play Outlast Trials. How that works, I don't know, but it's coming. And I think that is everything that I wanted to talk about. Was there anything there before I get into my thoughts about this thing that I didn't mention that you saw that you wanted to throw out there to the masses, Jeff? Nick? I always call you Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. No, I mean, they showed some more stuff for, what the hell game was it? Layers of Fear. That's like a reimagining of the series, which they just showed footage. If we're talking about opening night, there wasn't.
Yeah. Just the opening night show.
Yeah, everything you talked about, there wasn't really anything. This is the problem with these game shows. Like, you get excited for them, and then you watch them, and you're like, that was a waste of my time. I mean, we did the whole was it PlayStation or Xbox thing, and you remember how much of a shit show that was.
Yeah, they all have been this year for the most part. I think.
Yeah,
just kind of underwhelming. And
there's.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying there wasn't anything of note. To be fairly honest, I I got really excited for the. I don't know if they did Ghost. No, the Killer Clowns. I was like, ooh, Killer Clowns. But when I saw the Dead Island 2 stuff, I don't care about Dead Island 2. I really don't. It just that game is 6 years too late type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the first game that much. I remember it being okay.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people were looking forward to the second one 6 years ago, and they've been just talking about it. So it better be good. If it's not good, it's gonna get trashed by people because it took so long to come out. Duke Nukem.
New Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. Yeah, that's coming. Tell us about that.
Here's how I feel about that. I understand why they're getting new characters, but you didn't complete the other story. Maybe that's under, I don't know, some kind of contract, but that first game was amazing and funny, and I want those characters to come back because they were so much fun. But
I didn't finish Tales from the Borderlands. I need to. Not to say it wasn't good. I just got sidetracked. But yeah, Tales from New. It's even called that, New Tales from the Borderlands. But it's supposed to be a sequel. There was other stuff too. Was there something else you wanted to go over?
I'm looking through the list, and Return to Monkey Island was already announced.
Oh, yeah. There was other stuff, but I mean, for me at least, there was nothing that just like jumped out at me.
I don't know. It's just weird. Maybe either I'm getting kind of bored of video games, or it just really hasn't been interesting. I'm looking at all the lists, and it's like nothing really exciting.
No, 2022 has been a boring ass year for video games. Now we've got some good ones, like Elden Ring, and there have been some good games that we've gotten this year, and there's been some good announcements, but really just like that not award show, but the press conference like shows, they're just not what they used to be, man. Like this one.
No, well, I think the problem is like you should be in this ground where everything is exciting because we're at that point, but it's just the pandemic and all that stuff kind of ruined everything, and now it's just kind of Callisto Project, whatever.
Yeah,
but
cool.
I
mean, like I said, there was some cool stuff
Red
here.
Matter 2 is what I'm into right now, so
yeah, there was some cool stuff here, I thought, but I will say it was neat to see an in-person show again. I was happy to see that because it's been a while since we've seen an actual in-person show. But beyond that, and having people clap again and, seeming excited, even the crowd didn't seem like, there was no like, oh my God, losing their shit moments in this thing. And it just, overall, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. I'll say it wasn't like terrible. It was like a C. I don't do rating like letter grades, but if I did, I'd say it was a C at best. Just kind of lukewarm. Like it happened. If I didn't see all that, I'd be fine. There was nothing I was just like, I'm like super hyped for. I already wanted to play the Sonic game. But even that, I'm not like, I just gotta play this fucking game. I mean, it was fine. And they did like these awards throughout it.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, why are these even here? And they were really cringe. And I just used the word cringe. I hate doing that. This show made me do that. I mean, did you see these awards?
No.
Good.
I paid attention more to your stream than I did the actual award, the game show or whatever.
Yeah, it just the awards were like, why is this in here? This is adding nothing. It's taking away. It's stalling it. We want to see what the idea behind these types of shows at the beginning, opening night live, is going to show you all these, maybe not new, but it's going to show you what to expect from the actual, because Gamescom is like a week-long thing that's going on. You're going to see more from these things later on down the line. Now there's going to be other shows, like Bethesda has one, I think Microsoft has one. I don't think Sony's there or Nintendo's there, but we're going to get other announcements, I assume. But that's what this opening is supposed to be, is like, hey, here's what you're going to get more, but here's like a taste, and go later on in the week, you're going to get more specific things about these. And I'm just kind of like, well, I'm not looking forward to the rest of the week. And I mean, that's not to say everything here was bad. It was just kind of lukewarm.
Well, I mean, you're struggling when you had to put a trailer for the DualSense Edge, which is the worst title for a controller I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, I don't know why they called it that, but I mean, whatever. Hey, welcome to the
Warhammer
party.
40,000 looked pretty decent.
Which one?
Warhammer 40,000.
No, see, I don't even remember that.
Warhammer.
But yeah, guys, that's. I mean, we won't harp on it anymore. That was Gamescom opening night live, Jeff Keighley show 2022. Just kind of, I think we're both in agreement that it's just kind of lukewarm. Just kind of, yeah, it happened. Not terrible, not great, just in the middle. And sometimes that's the worst shit to watch is in the middle because it's like, I didn't hate it and I didn't love it. I'm just kind of in the middle. So nothing to, I wish there was at least one thing to get excited about. It's just nothing to like really get excited about. Kojima has a podcast on Spotify now.
Probably gonna do
And
better
there's a car.
than our podcast.
An electric mini car.
And there's a car.
Yeah, he's coming on our
Can you
podcast.
imagine Kojima's podcast? It's just gonna be a lot of translating. He's gonna talk for like 3 hours, and then the translations be like, "Yep."
Well, I've heard him speak English before, and it's clearly not his first language. I mean, we know that he's from Japan, but I couldn't imagine he's doing this podcast in English. I kind of want to listen to it just to hear. Is it all in Japanese, and you have to read subtitles at that point? Why am I listening to a podcast? I mean, if you speak Japanese, that makes sense, but I don't know.
He's messing with us again. Like, he's messing with us. He's playing us, and it's actually like a reveal for like I don't know, new Metal Gear.
His new game is a podcast simulator. No,
Right,
I do feel like him coming on this opening night live thing was a troll, which he is one of the biggest trolls out there.
Oh, it's because Jeff Keighley was there, and they're butt fucking each other.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Kojima and Keighley fucking each other. You heard it here. Scoop! All right, well,
Scoopity poop.
let us know what you thought in the comments below of Gamescom Opening Night Live 2022. Were we wrong? Are we stupid? Were you super hyped for Gotham Knights? Or whatever? I mean, maybe we're just old curmudgeons, as they call it now, and just we need to stop talking about video games. It's a young man's game. Old man.